What's up guys? Unless you're a collector, you may be wondering, why do I collect movies on physical media in days of streaming and Netflix? Well, nostalgia. It's also great to have all your favorite films collected and physically touchable on shelves. Basically same like going to a library. You get to look at the beautiful covers, read film synopsis instead of just clicking it on Netflix. Not so long ago, you had to actually drive to your nearest video rental store and rent a film and return it back after watching it and pay a few dollars. Generation Z will find this funny, but millennials couldn't wait for Friday night to rent the first VHS copy of Armageddon. I was born in 2001 and was among the last kids to have the opportunity of going to video rental store and being surrounded by thousands of films separated by different genres. Today, very few video stores still exist and are more considered as museums. And that's why I started collecting movies, because I want to bring back that unexplainable feeling of video rental store and kind of recreate it in my own living room. Without further ado, let's start off by alphabet. So starting off with the first shelf up here, we got 13. My brother enjoyed this one a lot. I like films with Jason Statham. Scene Transported of his, Expendables, and Crank is the craziest film I ever seen. American History X is an amazing film. Oh, Edward Norton from Fight Club and Edward Furlong, who played John Connor in Terminator 2. They both played two brothers here involved in a neo-Nazi movements, but later they learned the consequences of their acts. American Pie. I used to watch a lot of teenage comedies when I was a teenager myself, and American Pie kind of resurrected teenage films in 1999 that were at their peak in the 1980s with films like John Hughes' Breakfast Club. American Pie almost has 10 sequels, 4 official ones and 5 spin-offs exist. In my opinion, American Pie 2 is the funniest one of them all. Alien. When I was a kid, Alien was my favorite horror franchise, and I think it still is. Ridley Scott's Alien introduced xenomorph species with very few details, and it is that unknown about Alien what makes the first film the scariest. And of course, that amazing quote, "In space, no one can hear you scream." Then James Cameron released another more action-oriented masterpiece, which has always been my favorite in the franchise as a matter of fact. Alien 3 is when everything went downhill, and I think most people would agree with this. It's directed by David Fincher, who later released his masterpiece 7, and Fincher is famous for his dark realism in films, but Alien 3 was way too depressing after Cameron's Aliens. Heroes from Aliens are all killed in the very first minutes of a film except the protagonist. Even Corporal Hicks, played by a very underrated in my opinion actor Michael Biehn. However, over the years I started to appreciate this film more as I matured, I guess, and because of sequels after the third installment. Alien Resurrection. When you ran out of the ideas, why not make an alien protagonist? It is an entertaining film, and that's all pretty much I like about it. Because the audience was so disappointed with Alien 3, there had to be another sequel. Alien vs Predator. Early 2000s was a weird period of time when directors took slasher icons like Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees and made Freddy vs. Jason. Well, the same thing they did with Alien and Predator. It's an average film, but some things don't make any sense, like Predator that hunts humans now suddenly developing relationship with the girl. I mean, come on. Apocalypse Now Redux has 49 minutes of deleted scenes from the film. Hands down the best movie about Vietnam War. This will probably be in my top 10 favorite films of all time, and is directed by Francis Ford Coppola, the Godfather director. Martin Sheen gives a great performance in this film, and his son Charlie Sheen also played a US Army soldier serving in Vietnam War in Oliver Stone film Platoon, another great film. Avatar. I was never a fan of this film, honestly. James Cameron's shooting 3 sequels to this film at the same time, can you believe that? Tim Burton's Batman. This will always be my favorite Batman film, and Jack Nicholson played the best Joker for me. Batman Returns, the one with the Pigeon and Catwoman, Batman and Robin. Yes, Arnold Schwarzenegger played antagonist in what's considered the worst Batman film. The Dark Knight. Actually, I cannot decide between first Batman and Dark Knight, love them both. Christian Bale is a great actor. I gotta get American Psycho on DVD, in which he gives my personal favorite performance. Carlito's Way by Brian De Palma. Al Pacino plays a criminal here who wants to forget about his criminal past but finds it difficult. The film surprises you with very emotional ending, and I would highly suggest you to watch it if you're a fan of Scarface. City of God follows the growth of organized crime in suburb of Rio de Janeiro. Next we got Commando, a classic 80s action commercial success that feels like an action video game when you watch it. Cocktail, Crash. This film features racial and social tensions in Los Angeles. Deja Vu. We got Django Unchained. Dumb and Dumber 2. Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels can always make you laugh. The Expendables 3, all iconic action stars together. I became kind of bored of unrealistic films where thousands of bullets are shot at characters and they still survive. For a few dollars more is a second film in Sergio Leone's Dollars trilogy. I love westerns. Friday the 13th from 2009. It's okay, and it was great to see 1980s slasher icon Jason Voorhees back. I wonder will they release more sequels since Halloween is being currently resurrected. Fury, a great World War II film and great cast. Godzilla. I bought this film for my little brother and spent like $15 on it. Worst spent money ever. Terrible film. Goonies. Gotta love Goonies. Good old Goonies. Rob Zombie's Halloween. Not a huge fan. It's okay, but nothing tops Carpenter's original. Jackie Brown. Pam Grier is a wonderful actress and cannot go wrong with Tarantino. Kill Bill Volume 1. I'm still missing Volume 2. I'm planning to get it. King Kong from 76. This is the one where Kong climbs the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center instead of Empire State Building. Not the best King Kong, but I always kinda liked it for some reason. I agree relationship between Kong and Dwan, played by gorgeous Jessica Lange, is a bit sexualized in some scenes. Jessica Lange's body language is like she's playing her role in a porn film, and there's even a reference to Deep Throat. Anyways, for 70s film, King Kong practical effects look very realistic. Ms. Ryan, Public Enemy number 1, follows the story of French gangster played by Vincent Cassel, who was married to Monica Bellucci, in case you don't know that. Next here we got is Mad Max, my father's favorite film. Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior. Mad Max Fury Road. I don't have the third Mad Max, and I'm not honestly planning to get it because I didn't like it, never liked it. Memento. Mission Impossible. Some people say this is De Palma's best film, and I highly disagree. He made 1,000 times better films in 70s like Carrie, my personal favorite. Once Upon a Time in America is Sergio Leone's best film. He done a lot of westerns, but this, in my opinion, is his biggest masterpiece. That was supposed to be 6 hours long film, but was sadly butchered to only 2 hours in theatrical release. For decades, this film didn't get the praise it deserved, and poor Sergio Leone died knowing that 67% of his film was cut and audience never saw it. Until recently, great Martin Scorsese, with the help of Leon family, found some lost material and reinserted it into film, extending its runtime to about 4 hours. Motion picture follows a group of gangsters that are acting so friendly and full of love, but yet are the most cold-blooded mobsters you've ever seen. Amazing film. Man in Black 2. I was never a fan of Man in Black. First one was alright, but others, nah. Parker. Jason Statham and Jennifer Lopez. Police Academy. This is kind of a film I watch only for entertainment and nothing else. You know, when you just want to get a good laugh, that's all. Poltergeist. We got Prometheus. We are back at Alien franchise with this film, and this was the first Alien film I actually enjoyed after Alien 2. They cannot make Alien scary again after so many sequels, so this innovative storyline goes into details about mankind's origins, introducing engineers, but still doesn't answer all of our questions. But see, why do we need to learn about xenomorphs and engineers? Isn't it better when less known is, more scary it is? Well, the next film I got here is Raging Bull. You all seen Optimistic Rocky probably, but Raging Bull is about the dark side of the sport. Rain Man, great cast, great film. Remember Me, the most saddest and unexpected ending in movie history. Don't watch it on YouTube, watch the whole film, it's great. Resident Evil. The first thing you probably think of are video games, but first Resident Evil movie with Mila Jovovich is actually great. Rocky 3, I gotta get other Rockies. Alfred Hitchcock's Rope. I love Hitchcock's films, and he's known as master of suspense. Rope follows two men who want to prove they committed the perfect crime by hosting a dinner party while their former classmate they killed is hidden the whole time in a wooden chest at the party. Shocker. Shocker rips off Nightmare on Elm Street. Scar 3D. I'm so glad I bought this film only because of 3D glasses. Scent of a Woman. A Nightmare on Elm Street. 1980s had an amazing horror slashers. Speed. And I got Speed 2 Christ Control. First one is better. Mission is the most beautiful film ever made, and Ennio Morricone's music always sends the chills down my spine. The greatest composer the world has ever had. Jackknife is about Vietnam War veterans. The Skeleton Key. Skyfall. I have more James Bond films on VHS tape. There's Something About Mary. The Terminator. The first Terminator has always been my favorite. Mixture of sci-fi and horror. This was back when the Terminator was actually scary, an unstoppable killing machine. I think Terminator Salvation is pretty underrated. For me it had so much potential, and I always respected it because it tries something new. The Burning Plane. This film came with newspaper. My mother says it sucks. Final Destination 2. It was okay, but first one was a lot better. The Thing from 2011 is a direct prequel to 1982 John Carpenter's The Thing. Great news is that Carpenter is currently working on new The Thing movies, so that's gonna be awesome. The Shining. Here's Johnny. I got Transformers. Transformers Revenge of Fallen. Martin Scorsese's The Wolf of Wall Street is probably one of the 10 best films from the previous decade. I freaking love this film. Oliver Stone's Wall Street. Michael Douglas won the Academy Award for the Best Actor, and he delivered that famous quote, "Greed is good." And then you have Charlie Sheen and Martin Sheen, who plays Charlie's father in the film, and he is his father in real life as well. I think this Wall Street from 87 is kinda overshadowed by Wolf of Wall Street, and it shouldn't be because it's an excellent film, and I think it brings a more realistic picture of being a stockbroker who stepped into illegal business. Another Oliver Stone's great film, World Trade Center, released just 5 years after events of 9/11. It follows two police officers trapped in the rubble of the collapsed Twin Towers. Very emotional film, and it has a great soundtrack as well. The Woman in Black 2, Angel of Death. I have the Godfather trilogy here. Now it's been 50 years since the first Godfather was released. And last but not least, Scream trilogy. Now let's move on to my VHS collection. I haven't watched all of my VHS tapes yet. I do own a VCR and CRT to play them, but a lot of tapes gather dirt over the time, which is actually easily cleanable by tape cleaner machine, but it's a bit hard to find it nowadays. And I don't want to play dirty tapes because it might damage my VCR. So, first I got some 007 films. The Living Daylights and License to Kill, in which Timothy Dalton plays James Bond. A more serious version of Bond, especially after Roger Moore. It's so sad he appeared in only 2 Bond films. We got GoldenEye, The World Is Not Enough. I'm not sure who is my favorite Bond, but I honestly always enjoyed Roger Moore as James Bond, and I think a lot of you would disagree with this, which is okay. We all have different opinions, but I just miss the days when Sean Connery Roger Moore gave a lighter touch to Bond, and I don't think Daniel Craig has that charisma Sean Connery once had. All About My Mother. American Pie, which I also have on DVD. Apollo 13. Look at this great cast. You have Tom Hanks, great Bill Paxton that sadly passed away in 2017, Kevin Bacon, Gary Sinise, and others. Late 90s gave us some unforgettable disaster films, and Armageddon is an excellent example. Alright, the next I have here is Assassins, Bachelor Party, one of the earlier Tom Hanks films, Before and After, Blue Sky, Deconstructing Harry, The Devil's Own, Domestic Disturbance, Don't Say a Word, Eyes Wide Shut by legendary Stanley Kubrick. Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman were married in real life at the time. Fight Club. Now let's move on to another shelf here. VHS boxes, by the way, take a lot more space than DVDs. From Hell, Too Fast, Too Furious, back when Fast and Furious was all about racing and not guys with shaven heads. Hudson Hawk, I Dreamed of Africa, Mad Max, Mars Attacks. A lot of these films were constantly on television when I was a kid. Marathon Man, I love films with Dustin Hoffman. Marvin's Room, My Best Friend's Wedding, Nikita. Panic Room has Jodie Foster, who gave a great performance in Taxi Driver and The Silence of the Lambs. Patriot. Philadelphia has Denzel Washington and Tom Hanks, who plays a guy that gets fired because he's HIV positive. Predator. I like to watch Predator just to see how great this film was if compared to most recent terrible Predator. Oh my god, what disaster of the film that is. Of course, I have Pulp Fiction, Resurrection, Saturday Night Fever, and I have this film soundtrack on vinyl record. Scarface, De Palma's masterpiece. Demi Moore Striptease. Just guess why I bought this VHS. Sky School 2. No, this is not an adult film. Terminal Velocity. The Age of Innocence. Bone Collector. I never watched or heard about some of these films, as a guy from who I bought them sold them to me as a collection, so you know I couldn't choose a film, he sold them all as a collection. The Bridges of Madison County, The Exorcist. Even if you haven't watched it, you probably saw a shot of Linda Blair from the film by playing Scary Maze, if you remember that game. The Girl of Your Dreams, The Good Father, The Horse Whisperer, The Juror, The Last Castle, The Prophecy, The Slumber Party Massacre, a classic 1982 slasher, The Straight Story, Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, John Carpenter's The Thing, very unappreciated film when released. It is, and it should be, appreciated nowadays a lot more. Third Miracle, and moving on to last shelf, Wag the Dog, and we have To Sir with Love 2. So that's about it, guys. My battery is very low, so I'm gonna end this video now. Thanks for watching and see you very soon.